Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. It's like having a mouse in your house or a leak in your house. You see the water, but if you don't know the source of the problem, if you can't see where the water is coming from, how can you rest easy? You might wake up and your whole house is submerged in the water. Right here it is, you might have a mouse problem in your house. Right, until you can identify the point of entry, then how can you sleep good at night? Once you can identify the problem area, then it's understanding that comes with that. You can identify the problem and you can start taking steps to find a solution, right? This is why it says, Proverbs 4:7, wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. What is wisdom? Applied knowledge, right? Once you know, that's one aspect, but to apply it properly, right? Some people, they can be shown a video on how to change their oil, but until you can actually apply that knowledge and get it done, you don't have wisdom. So applying what you know is the principal thing, but with all thy getting, get an understanding of who you are. That's pinnacle. When I first came into the knowledge, we would ask Jake when we see him, do you know your nationality? You know, and then we would point him to the tribes chart, right? And the tribes chart is very instrumental to our doctrine. Hey, and double honors and many blessings to one of our elders that is just transitioned to the spirit world. You know, he's our ancestor today, Ahrayah, right? This is one of the men that are pinnacle to the doctrine and the understanding of the doctrine as it pertains to the 12 tribes chart. You know, the scriptures talk about us getting these two sticks and going to the children of Israel and, hey, reconciling them with the Father. But this is one of our, at this point, our ancestors and our patriarch that is just transitioning to the spirit world, right? But that's a big major part of our doctrine. You know, like it says in Matthew 22:9, go out to the highways and hedges. Luke 14:23 tells us that this ministry is not inside of a building. It says that in the book of Acts, the Most High dwelleth not in buildings made with hands, but rather we were commanded to go out to the highways and hedges. Proverbs 1:20 says, wisdom will be found in the street. That's where she utters her voice, right? But hey, way before myself and many other men that have entered into the labors of our elders, way before we were woken up to being Israelites, you had men like Ahrayah that were out on the highways and the hedges doing exactly what we're doing. This was his vocation in which he was called, where he was using that chart, this 12 tribes chart, to do what? Fish and sift Israel from among the nations. How you doing, Chief? You know, we'll ask an individual, as pursuant to Numbers 1:18, what's their father's nationality? And from there, we would let them know. You know, like it says in Romans 8:16, it's the spirit that bears witness with our spirit that we're children of God. So, hey, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans of Negroid and Indian descent, as well as those that are scattered across the four corners of the earth, as pursuant to Deuteronomy 28:64, we will let them know that, hey, salvation is for you. You are written up in the Bible as the children of Israel. And for our transgressions, we've been scattered across the four corners of the earth, robbed of our nationality. Like it says in Jeremiah 17:4, discontinued from our nation. And now, on one side, we got the proverbs and bywords. On the other side, we have our national tribal names, right? Hebrew Israelites from our respective tribes. It's 12 tribes, right? But this is a pinnacle instrument, this sign that a lot of brothers use to gather in the hopeful elect. That exceeding great army that's standing upon their feet, a lot of them were awakened to their biblical nationality by this sign. And a diligent search was done, and this sign was discerned to be so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans of Negroid and Indian descent across the four corners of the earth. Hey, so many blessings to Ahrayah. Although many blessings to them, and although I never had an opportunity to meet him in the flesh, just hearing all of the great things that the men that he raised up in the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding through the power and spirit of Yahweh Yahushua, the respect that they show him, even after he went and started following a man by the name of Jermaine Grant. Jermaine Grant was a man that called himself the God-sent comforter. In the scriptures, the Most High said that he will not leave us comfortless. And hey, our comforter is the scriptures, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. He comes in the volume of the book, as it says in John 6:63. It said, the words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. This is the spirit, right? But there was a man by the name of Jermaine Grant, you know, that is no longer with us. The Most High snatched the spirit out of his body. The Most High wasn't as merciful with Jermaine Grant for doing what? Speaking those damnable heresies and scattering the flock. Rather than reuniting them with the comforter, which is the scriptures, you had a man by the name of Comfy saying that he was the God-sent comforter. And even after Ahrayah joined unto Comfy, Jermaine Grant, and supported him, I observed how our elders and our apostles still dealt with him very delicately. They dealt with him very wisely in their words. Even when Chief Elder Apostle Tahar saw him a couple of years ago, he saw him out and about. He still maintained that level of honor, that level of respect, for the lack of a better word, for him, for the work that he did do when he was in his right mind, right? And to see the respect that the elders showed towards their elders, that was a good example on younger men coming in. You know, not rebuking the elder. You have men that have come into the knowledge, that were raised up through the power and spirit of Yahweh Yahushua by the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And guess what? They'll open their mouth wide. They mock, they scoff, they try to create new doctrines, they try to undermine the very men that raised them up. And that's one thing I noticed with Ahrayah. Although our elders and apostles were babies at the point when he was in his strength, they still honored him for his labors, right? For his dedication. Even in his error, in his older age, the way that I saw them approach him, it was an excellent example of how a child is supposed to treat their elder. How a younger man is supposed to treat the older men when you come into the ministry. Even when they go off, you don't go before the nation and try to get a notch on your belt. You're supposed to hide his shame. And hey, their prayer and their desire was that he repented and that he came back into the fold, right up until the point that he passed. They maintained a level of respect, honor, and integrity as it pertained to Ahrayah, right? So hey, in honor of Ahrayah, I just want to go into Ezekiel 37:19 real quick. All right, it says, say unto them, Salakia, this is Ezekiel chapter 37, and I'm going to start with verse 15. The word of the Lord came unto me, saying, moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick, and write upon it for Judah, and for the children of Israel, his companions. Then take another stick, and write upon it for Joseph, the stick for Ephraim, and for all the houses of Israel, his companions, right? So Judah represents the southern tribe, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. As you can see, it's all brothers that go out as pursuing to Matthew 22:9, Luke 14:23. When you encounter brothers on the streets that are preaching sound doctrine, they will have a sign with the children of Israel, right? And you'll see Judah represented by the so-called Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians. They're the southern tribe, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, right? And then you have Ephraim, which is represented by the northern tribes. Ephraim is also known as the Puerto Ricans, right, in this present time. That's their national tribal name, Ephraim. But it's saying you're going to get a stick and write on it one for Judah and one for Ephraim. Going right along, it says, and join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thine hand. Hey, because once King Solomon went out of power, you had a split between the northern and the southern tribes. Right, even right now, you have breaches, variants, and schisms among these tribes right here. Intertribal beefs and schisms and things of that nature. And the scriptures call it also a covering cast. Our people are enveloped and they're inundated and they're relished with proverbs, bywords, and misnomers, these names. Right, because on this side, you have names like Negroes, West Indians, Haitians, Dominicans, Cubans, North American Indians, Haitians, all the way down to Mexicans, right? But this is why Ahrayah was so instrumental, because he discerned the northern and the southern tribe needed to be put together on one stick. We're one family, although we're scattered, although we're divided at this present time, the Lord's elect are going to be totally joined together in one mind. Like it says in 1 Corinthians 1 and 10, no divisions. Amos 3 and 3, can two walk together except they be agreed? You know, once you come out from under these misnomers and these bywords, and you come into the knowledge of being an Israelite from your respective tribe, now you bethought yourself. You remembered who you were by one of these various men out on the highways and hedges that numbered 1 and 18 your ass. Number 1 and 18 lets you know that we declare our nationalities and our pedigree by the house of our father. The father bears the X and the Y chromosome. Therefore, he decides the child's nationality as well as the child's gender. And truthfully, although you might take characteristics of your mother, your spirit, that's essentially who you are, is of your father. Although characteristics, phenotypes, certain attributes you will get from your mother, the essence of who you are, your spirit is of your father, right? That's why it says in Romans 8 and 16, it's the spirit that bears witness with our spirit. Because hey, we can discern that someone is an Israelite, and we can have a hunch that they're not an Israelite. But ultimately, it's the Most High Yahweh Shai that's gonna sift Israel from among the nations where we've been scattered. Right, let me bring this out one more time. This is Ezekiel 13, and I'm gonna start with 16. Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it. Ezekiel 37 and verse 16, once again. Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all of the house of Israel, his companions. And join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thine hand. And when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by this? Say unto them, thus saith the Lord power. Behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, and I will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in mine hand. And the sticks whereon thou writest shall be in thine hand before their eyes. And say unto them, the Lord power, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and I will gather them on every side, and I will bring them into their own land. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel. And one king shall be king to them all. And they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms any more at all. Hey, so we're going to be one body in Yahweh Shai. Not like those nuts out there in Texas that are teaching all type of damnable heresies, especially as it pertains to Revelation 13 and 16. But we're going to be one body, one nation, joined together. And that's what the elect are doing even on this side. But in the kingdom of heaven, as pursuant to Jeremiah 31 and 31, hey, we're not going to have to teach our neighbors not to sin anymore. Therefore, we'll have a kingdom that's harmonious in perpetuity, a perpetually righteous kingdom, right? Hey, so again, many blessings to Ahrayah, who was instrumental in bringing forth the understanding, the prophetic understanding of our 12 tribes chart, and the understanding of, you know, the street ministering, Matthew 22 and 9, you know, actually going out to the highways and hedges and compelling our people to come into the house that it be filled, to reconcile the children with the Father. Because like I said, when I woke up to the knowledge of being an Israelite, that was one of the key things that drew me in. Brothers asked me, did I know my nationality? And they discovered and they established my nationality. Of course, it's through faith, but it was by the house of my father, right? So this is exactly what we exhorting our people to do. Right? Every man in an Israelite household should be going out to the highways and hedges doing this, compelling Israelite men to come back into the knowledge of being Israelites from our respective tribes, repenting, coming back into righteousness in hopes that we be preserved out of this destruction and bring forth the righteous kingdom. All right, this is Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 20, and it reads, "Wisdom cries without, she utters her voice in the streets. She cries in the chief place of concourse. In the openings of the gates in the city, she utters her words, saying, How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning. And fools hate knowledge." Right? Fools hate knowledge, but it said that wisdom will be found out in the streets. If our people depended on the plantation Christians, you know, those 501c3 harlot houses to be awoken, our people would still be asleep. We would be perpetual slaves in this place. Because those churches are not telling our people that they're not African. They're not telling them that they're not American. Right? On the contrary, the churches are called African Methodist Episcopal, AME churches. Those actually were the churches that were established by the newly freed slaves, right? So you have to understand, that's where wisdom will be found. Hey, if you're coming up here for folly, if you're coming up here for foolishness, I ain't a preacher in the church. So just keep it moving with your partner. Because I can see it in your eyes, you're not coming up here for number folly. We don't fuck around. These are the true men of the Lord. You don't go up to your pastor in the church fucking with him, do you? Well, show me the same respect. Right? Our people are... No, you weren't. No, you was coming up here to play games. Keep it moving. If you got serious questions, come back. If you don't, keep it moving. Hey, because our people, it's 10 and 6, folly is said in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. You know, sometimes we have the mind to do what? Entertain our people, to take questions that are sincere. But hey, the Lord's men are austere men. We're morally strict. And as the Most High continues to bring judgments and plagues on this place, He's going to continue to pour His Spirit out on His men to do His work. You got Jake, they want to walk up and they want to fool around when we can discern. Our senses has been exercised to tell when somebody is coming up in sincerity and when someone is coming up some other way. From whence cometh thou, Satan? Right? Because we are in the last days of the last days. You know, in ancient times, when our people would see a prophet out on the street, they like, damn, what have we done? Us coming out on the streets with these Bibles is not a sign that good things are going to happen. Before the Most High destroys the society, He sends out His prophets to give His people warning. Right? One thing about those churches, for you to go into church, you got to pay a premium. They actually don't give you the word freely. But the Lord's true servants, you're going to see them out on the streets. Not with an offering basket, not asking you for money, but to give you warning from the word of the Bible. Because just like ancient Egypt was destroyed, ancient Babylon was destroyed, ancient Greece was destroyed. For what America has done to the Lord's people, America's gonna be destroyed in the same fashion. It says that in Psalms 49:11, their inward thoughts is that their houses will continue forever. Most of these people, they think America is gonna ride out into the sunset. As murderous and wicked, right, and tyrannical as this place has been to the Lord's people, our people still wanted to ride off into the sunset. Because, hey, they don't believe in justice, right? How did America become great? By rape, robbery, genocide, enslavement. But a lot of people will look at America and they'll want America to thrive. When, if you have wisdom and you believe in justice, you know that America is riding on fumes. America is circling the drains. This is called the valley of the shadow of death. That valley is a low place, low morally, low physically. Look how women present themselves, a low place where we've been destroyed, we've been robbed, and all of the nations round about are above us. Hey, but we have a God, we have a king, and he didn't want us to just be perpetual slaves, perpetual victims under these nations that are round about. Right, let me bring this out real quick for you, brother. This is on Jeremiah 28:8. Jeremiah 28:8. Jeremiah chapter 28:8 reads, "The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence." When a prophet come out, he prophesied against the kingdom of what? War, evil, and pestilence. Right? You remember a couple years ago, you had a corona, right? You had a plague where everybody walking around with a mask on. A lot of people died because they caught myocarditis from taking those vaccines. So these people have already been coming up with schemes and agendas to attack us. And that's why we're letting our people know that the Most High is going to continue to bring out these diseases, continue to bring out these judges, continue to bring out these plagues on this place. Why? Because the Most High is against this place, right? Let me bring this out one more time. Jeremiah 28:8. "The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence." War and evil and pestilence. That's what's coming to America. People won't be able to have jobs. These women that want to be feminists, I don't need a man, I'm independent. It says that, hey, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying we will buy our own clothes. Just let us be called by your name. Because, hey, the natural order of things is going to come back in style. Everything right now is turned upside down. You have men wanting to be women, women wanting to be men. The so-called white man, he's looked at as the hunk of the earth. The whole foundations of the earth are out of course. And the Lord's people, they just want to be niggas. They want to observe so-called Black History Month, the shortest month of the year, right? Where our people get told about men and women of our nation that told lies to us. Like, this is a post-racial society. All God's children should be walking holding hands. Right? This is what Martin Luther King told our people. At a point when we were separate and we were thriving, he wanted us to integrate with the white man. He wanted to sit at the cracker lunch table. He wanted to sit on the white man's toilet. He wanted to lay down with the white man's 2-legged dog. Hey, but the scriptures tell us to be separate. That's what it is to be holy, to be set apart. The Most High chose us from among the nations, not to live around them, to be like them, to work for them, to be abused and terrorized by them. No, but because we stopped following the law, statutes, and commandments of our God, we wanted to be disobedient. Now what did he do? He set our enemies high above us. Right, let me get this in the book of Job 30:8. Now the so-called white man, a caveman, he knows his history. Now he can abuse us, lock us up. In the courtroom, we got to call this bitch Your Honor. may I speak your honor. That just lets you know how far we've fallen as a people. Right? This is Job chapter 30 and verse 8. It says, they were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. Right? This is the so-called white man. It said that they were children of fools, children of base men. Right? These are the same people that used to crawl around on all fours. When their elders would die and get weak, they would kill them and eat them. We had to tell them, don't eat your grandma. We had to tell them, come inside and sleep on the bed. Don't lay out there with the donkeys and the animals out there in the barns. Right? He's a base man. Here it is, the so-called white man tells us in his school's curriculum that we come from a damn ape. Right? They say that men come from damn apes. Right? That's a base man. God made men and God made women. And a man is not going to give birth, lay down with a monkey and give birth to a man.
That's true.
Right? Two monkeys. No, I don't need to donate. Hey, I appreciate it, Elder. Hey. Well, I appreciate it, brother. Hey, you an Israelite? The law, statutes, and commandments in the Bible are for us to observe wherever we're supposed to go. Dietary laws. Pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, you're not supposed to eat it.
I don't eat them.
All right, that's good. You got a beard on your face, right? But in the Bible, we have civil laws on how we're supposed to treat each other. We even have ceremonial laws. We going into the Passover right now.
Okay.
You know, our people, they coming up out of Christmas. Yeah. They coming up out of Valentine's. Yeah. So we letting you know that even in the Bible, it gives us days where we're supposed to observe the Heavenly Father. So I encourage you to continue to read the Bible. The name of God is Yahweh. Yahweh. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, his name is Yahweh. 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 Right, they tell us his name is God, but there are many gods. How you say God in Hebrew is Allah, but our God, his name is Yahweh. And who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ, his name is Yahweh Shah. That's his Hebrew name. Jesus is a Greek title. We know our Lord and Savior was a Hebrew. Therefore, he had a Hebrew mother, Hebrew father, and a Hebrew name. And that name is Yahweh Shah. Yahweh Shah. Yahweh Shah. Yahweh, that's God's name, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of our forefathers. And Yahweh Shah is who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. Yahweh, Yahweh Shah. Remember those names and pray in those names. All right, brother, you be blessed.
Thank you, brother. I got to catch my bus.
Oh, no, handle your business. Jake came through. And Jake is so conditioned from that plantation Christianity. Whenever they agree with the message, they'll always try to come out and give money, because church has conditioned our people. Church has conditioned our people that whenever they hear someone teaching the Bible and giving them a word, they feel like they have to do something. And that's righteousness as well, because they want to contribute. Hey, and it's all based in sincerity, you know, because if you entreat a prophet with a cup of water, kind words, we really want them to listen, and we want them to apply the information that we give them, because that's the #1 weapon in the war, information. Right? The #1 weapon in the war is information, right? And we're prisoners of war behind enemy lines. So this is the knowledge that our people need to adapt and apply so they can have an advantage, you know, wherever they're at. Because like I was telling the brother, everything is turned upside down in this place. Let me get this in Isaiah 29 and 16. Right? Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 16 reads, surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say to him that framed it, he had no understanding? Right? Psalms 49 and 11. That's what I was going to get. Right? But hey, everything is turned upside down. The whole foundation of the earth are out of course. Why? Because the children of Israel are not in their rightful state of mind. We're not in our rightful position in the earth. So everything is out of course. Why? Because we're out of order. That's why we're gathering the elect, that exceeding great army, getting them in order, because through them, order will be reestablished in the earth. Right? It said that in I will send out many fishers and they shall fish them. And the hunters, that's what the hunters are going to do. Reestablish order in the earth. This is Psalms chapter 49 and 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call